send the message of what it's like, what the expectations are. Ron Bellamy, Mike Hart, Doug Mallory, Courtney Morgan. It's been good. Feels good. Even better than what I kind of was hoping and visualizing. But Mike walks through the door day one. Really respect it. As a coach, as a teacher. Same thing. It was talking about earlier. Like a teacher, a dad, a coach. It's all pretty darn synonymous. Really getting to know Mike, getting to know Monique, his two daughters, his son. He's a really great dad too, and great coach, great teacher, well respected, doing a heck of a good job. Kind of just expecting normal, expecting back at it. Us here having this event, just being everything in person. Meetings are going to be in person, practice, in person. Can't wait. Know the games are coming, and get ourselves prepared for them. But, having more games, that's having all the games, whether it's non-conference, conference, have it all the way it's, designed to be. We're looking forward to that.
Right here. Yeah, Coach, I'm curious your thoughts on Indiana's emergence in the last 2 years and how that's impacted the spring.
Yeah, I've been saying about Indiana every time we play them. Played them 6 times, and it's always been a tough, hard-fought game every single time we played them. Tom's doing a great job, and we got a tough. We understand the strength of the schedule. Really and have that respect for all the teams in the Big Ten and the non-conference teams we play and anybody we play. They got good players, they got good coaches, and it's always going to be a formidable task every time we go out there.
Hey, Jim, I know you were an advocate of the one-time transfer rule, but is Michigan somewhat at a disadvantage with that because of how difficult it is for undergraduate transfers to transfer in due to the academic requirements? And Michigan, the 3 guys that you brought in are grad transfers.
No, I don't know it's any different than it's not an easy school to get into. You gotta be a good student. We embrace that. We say good. That's that's a good thing. But I don't see the disadvantage.
Just for the coursework, translating, and transferring so you get the credit hours. That you already got at your previous school. How difficult is that for Michigan? I want to say that just the way that the course requirements are. I like AJ more. Have you run into issues?
Yeah, no, I think I understood. I think I understood your question. There's high standards to get in. I got a daughter who goes to Michigan. They're high standards. It's tough. You gotta be a serious student. You gotta be good at it. You gotta take it very seriously. And with the result of that, you end up getting kids that are very competitive. Whether they're in the classroom or on the field. There's the positive, and they're smart. So they understand schemes that you're doing, and so there's some real advantages. It's like okay, yeah, good. It's a good thing. Whether it's undergrad or transfer.
Hey Jim, Josh and Aiden were talking before about how they're thinking about Ohio State every day. I know you guys have the sign, but what are you doing to beat Ohio State today? Is that something you guys are emphasizing even more this year than maybe you have in the past?
Yeah, you know they're.
Second year, I think.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah, they're at the top. We gotta
We didn't
knock them off their perch, and that's on our mind every day. You know, and also you know what you're doing that day. You know that day to get better today than you were yesterday, to be better tomorrow than you were today. I mean, both of those things on your mind, and then you know then we'll be into the season, and that mindset of getting good enough at football to you know, win that championship, you know, will be the strategy of being the best in the Big Ten. That's where we're coming from.
What are those things that you think your guys need to be doing now to give yourself a chance to do that as the season progresses?
Yeah, just working and not worrying. You know, work. If you go to bed at night, you know, and you have your muscles are sore, they ache, you've sweated, you know, you're tired. As soon as your head hits the pillow, you fall asleep. You know, then you know you did, you know, everything you could have that day.
Kind of along those same lines, there seems to be a little bit of a shift in the way that your guys were talking about that game and focusing on it every single day. Was that alum-driven with bringing in more guys with the Michigan ties? Was that coach-driven? Was that player-driven? What's been that transition to really put more emphasis on that game?
Nick was amazing.
Yeah, it's just the, you know, that's the,
That was crazy.
that, there's something in you. You know, you got it, that gene in you that says you want to do your best, to the best of your God-given ability. And then you want to actually compete to be the best, and then you want to be the best. You know, that's just something that drives you in that way. And yeah, those guys you're talking to, they got that gene.
All he wanted to do was just make sure
Yeah,
that
Coach,
he did our
you
best.
feel like you're deep
this whole
into this
Ramadan
Michigan
one-on-one
tenure.
with him,
You feel like you're on the hot seat, like everybody indicates you are.
The guy loves me.
Standpoint of job, I mean, how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis?
I look at it like, I mean, there's people are trying to discourage you. You know, it's almost like propaganda, like, let's discourage them. You know, almost like World War II propaganda machines. You know, stop, quit. You know, no need to try. You have no chance. Don't even try any further. Yeah, so you just that becomes like, no, we don't subscribe to that at all. Trying to get to the top. We're gonna die trying. We're either gonna get there or die trying.
Audrey?
Jim, what is Hassan's relationship with Mike Harbaugh like right now? Because he was mentioning earlier that he's been learning a lot from him, and so how would you describe that relationship with him?
We don't max out. We do.
It's a great. I mean, you know, Hassan. I mean, he's. There's nobody I love more than Hassan Haskins. You know, on our football team. He is. As a coach, you love him. So yeah, I know Mike's gonna love him. You know, and Hassan's gonna love Mike. But Hassan is a freak athlete. Freak of athleticism and strength. That's a guy who like high jumped 6'7" when he was in high school. He rushed for like 1,400 yards. He had 11 sacks, if I remember right, as an outside linebacker. He could be a great outside. He could be a linebacker. He is arguably our best special teams player, most productive, and can play any. You can play kickoff return, punt return. If whatever the play is blocked for, he's getting at least another yard or two. If it's blocked for 0, he's probably gonna get 1 yard. You know, if it's blocked for 2, he'll get 4. If it's blocked for 4, he'll get 6. He's a real football player. And then been around him now. I mean, he's very. If he was sitting here, he would not want to hear this. He would go behind you know, he's just this humility that he has, but he is tough as can be, and yeah. So he loved coaching a player like Hassan Haskins. Another example, I mean, he's got our back and our front and our side. He could have been drafted this year. He would have been drafted. Aiden would have. Josh Ross would have. And these guys are back. And they speak a real team language. So, yeah, guys I love.
You got Cam Wiley, who's a speedster. You got Trey Potts. He's very shifty. He can make you.
Yeah.
Then you got.
Well, when
he can do it all.
we really had two quarterbacks that transferred out, so needed another quarterback. Looked around and really liked that he had played well in games. Played early. Played as a freshman. Tough. Had some games where he had a collapsed lung, came back, played with it. Just stuff, just stuff like that thought this was a pretty intriguing guy here. So yeah, excited to have him in the mix, and wait to see what he can do. Been good over the summer, and yeah, he'll get a chance to get the opportunity.
We don't really know how to play for the next 2 or 3 years, but I just like to put my name out there and show these other guys.
Has there been more of an emphasis on keeping some of the Michigan guys on the same team than there has been other classes?
Just get better and better each day.
Yeah, I mean the Michigan guys, Michigan players playing at Michigan. It's always an emphasis, and and Michigan's always been good when it's had Michigan players playing at Michigan. So that's the way it was 35 years ago, the way it is today, the way it'll be probably 20, 30 years from now as well. So yeah, that's always an emphasis.
Just referencing the climb, you mentioned a few times, how far do you think this program is from getting where you want it to be?
Yeah, it's I feel like we've won half the battle, now we got to win the second half of the battle. As I said, I mean, I always look at an off season that way. The off season is half the battle. Got to win that. You got to get your best possible team you can to training camp, and then you go about winning the second half of the battle.
Coach, question for you. You're a Michigan guy. How special is that for you? I mean, in the past, I've asked you about your family, the assistant coaches. How special is it for you to be a Michigan guy representing Michigan? You've been other places, but I mean, you're home. What's that like for you?
It's great. I mean, it's
from the highlights,
makes it real personal, for sure. And
you couldn't really see his full display last year.
that's talked about having you want to have Michigan's back, its side and its front, and also to be, have Ward as the athletic director. I mean, another Michigan man, and all the other. I mean, there's so many relationships. It's like so many relationships to have because you grew up there, went to college there, and now work here, and all the ones that you value, you trust, and are those lifelong friendships. So.
Where are you from? Where?
Aaron, I'll get to you next.
Yeah, it's the
I need a map.
the good thing, and I think where we've come the farthest on offense is there's a real trust. Offensive coaches trust Josh, and myself, and Josh trusts the other offensive coaches. And respects them, and thinks they're good. And Sharon is good. Sharon's coaching the offensive line. I want
I'm from Maryland.
input. A lot of input in the run game. Same with Matt Weiss, and yeah, we areas that we need to improve. But yeah, the run, pass. I mean, it's together. I'd like to stress that the trust is there between staff and Josh and the rest of the offensive staff, and watching them work together. In those meetings, ideas flying. Coming from everywhere, coming from Mike Hart, coming from Matt Weiss, coming from Jay Harbaugh, coming from Sharon, coming from Kyle Devan, coming from Steve Kasula. I mean, it's like, who's a big fan of just watching how good they are and how well they're working together. I mean, I feel like we've come a long way.
On the left, Jim, in 1 year, how different did you watch when you played Rutgers when you watched since playing Shannon?
Yeah, much improved, and playing great ball. We were in a game with them last year that evenly played, about as evenly played as you can play it. Doing a heck of a good job.
Austin,
when you made the changes with your assistant coaches, how did you go about identifying some of the hires you made, the guys you wanted to bring in? I know obviously you had one connection with your brother, but just what was that process like for you of figuring out who you really wanted?
Interviewing a lot of people. It's it starts with phone interviews and talking to guys. Are you interested? And then talking ball. Then eventually talking ball face to face. Just per opening. Some more than others. I mean, some only one. And you make that hire. But yeah, you talk anywhere from good handful that you're really interviewing to one.
Jim, with the dynamic you've been talking about with the new coaches, have you found yourself delegating more or doing anything differently as the head coach? How do you kind of see your role as the head coach with these new coaches you brought in?
Hate to compare anything, but definitely less of the COVID coach and more of the football coach this year from last year.
What's the difference between the two?
Just coaching football, being the football coach, just coaching the team, and because that's what I enjoy. You get to coach every position. You get to be in every meeting, any meeting you want, and contribute, and that's what I like doing, coaching guys.
Chris?
You had some ups and downs in the board last year. Vince and Jamon and some of the guys behind them that are stepping up.
I think Jamon was on a really good, tremendous track. I think he's doing extremely well. We're considering him a starting quarter right now, and then the other side, DJ Turner and Vince Gray, competing for that spot. So there's that. Then we'll, that's a huge focus. George Johnson, still looking. Is he corners? He's safety. Jalen Perry. Same discussion there. And then younger corners to wait and see, and hope that they're merging. Especially this opportunity they have coming up for fall camp.
Isaiah?
You mentioned Mozzie Smith and the rundown of the defensive line. The defensive players you have here, I think, quickly, as soon as I asked who's been impressing you the most this offseason, they very quickly say Mozzie Smith. What has he done, and seems to kind of earned that distinction, and what do you see from him?
Mozzie is, first of all, he's completely changed his body, into a
lot of returning players, a lot of experience coming back.
Power pack, big, wide, thick, strong, and retained his speed and athleticism, strike, his knockback, and real desire, that he's always shown since day one. But he keeps getting better every day, getting stronger every day. And Jess Spate has done similar. Chris Hinton, and those three right now. I mean, Jordan's going to have to get up above them. We haven't seen that yet, so have the opportunity. Got three young inside players, Ike, Rayshawn, and George, that'll come onto the scene and on the 6th, and we'll see what they can do. But hopefully those three are gonna keep an eye on Mozzie Smith and watch how he goes about his business.
On the right here, Clay.
Yeah, Coach. How would you compare the scrutiny that you had in the NFL as compared to now? I mean, are you oblivious to most of it, or just the media, the fans, whatever?
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably pretty similar.
Jim, 2 years ago after the Ohio State game, kind of bristled at a question about if there was a gap between the two programs. Do you not feel like there is one, or when you compare the situation for the rivalry right now, what is in your mind? It seems like there's a greater emphasis on just that team than maybe your counts.
Yeah, I remember that. Was that you asked the question?
I didn't ask that question.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the time of you recruit better or you're coaching them better. I mean, it's just I like taking the responsibility myself. When things go bad, I mean, it's on me. It's not the players. It's not the other coaches. So yeah, that's where I was coming from then.
Do you feel now like you're chasing them, or
Yeah, they're on top of the perch, right? I mean, y'all picked them, to win the conference. So, somebody's got to knock them off that perch, and why not us? Let it be us. Let's do everything in our power, to get that done.
Angelique, did you have a question? No? I'll ask.
Jim, 3, 4, 5 teams, maybe same 3 teams, top college football. Is that good for college football or bad?
I don't know. Where you? Yeah, obviously, we want to be one of those. That would be really good. I mean, we think it would be really good for us,
Big picture.
Huh?
For the game.
Huh?
Big picture for the game. College football.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an idea of how to answer that question.
Chris?
Can you talk about Mike Barrett's progress moving from Piper and the other guys battling with him?
What's that?
Michael Barrett moving from Piper in the middle, and then the other guys battling with him.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Barrett's. Right now as we line it up, Mike Barrett's a starter. He's a starter and inside backer along with Josh Ross. Played a lot of football. Been outstanding. Quiet, but just going about his business. And Mike poised to have one of those really good years, and nobody wants to see that happen more than me. It's a position like when you talk about the inside backers, it's not going to be just a static. Well, that's where he lines up every single time. I mean, he could line up and look like a will backer. He could line up as a Mike. He could line up on the edge. He could be in any of those spots, just like other defensive players. Can't find Aiden Hutchinson because he's always going to be there, or he's always going to be there. I mean, he could be any of those spots. So, you know, takes advantage of what you know, guys can do well, and you know, gives them some versatility to do that. So just to your point, I mean, he's played on the line of scrimmage. He'll play more on the line of scrimmage. He'll play more in the middle, and better to let the opponent think that there's all kind of possibilities of where he could line up.
Going back to when you had Vic as the DC all the way through Don Brown and now Mike, I mean, it seems like the common parallel is like you want a guy who's going to send pressure to the quarterback. Is that based on your experience as a quarterback yourself and what you faced with exotic blitzes and such like that, and how you face that? And is that part of the kind of impetus behind hiring these kind of guys?
Yeah, partly. I mean, you know, you want a defense that's going to be attack, you know, in nature, and yeah, I guess so. That's part of it.
The back left.
Hey, Coach Harbaugh, how you doing? Michael Frisco, media again. Once again, go blue. My thing is Mike Hart, man. To me, that was like grand slam, home run. You nailed it. I love Mike Hart. So me, talking to you, the coach, what about Mike Hart makes you gravitate to how you can get the best out of the running backs and what you can do to have these coaches?
Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, follow Mike, you know, through his career. I mean, great player, and maybe going to start arguing even better coach, and Michigan guy, you know, all the way. Now getting to know him, I mean, he's also a great dad. You know, he's a great teacher, and you know, really respect and enjoy working with him. And I feel like, you know, I'm not just going to say the running backs, but just our other coaches, you know, and other players on the team. I mean, I have the same appreciation and respect for Mike. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Chris?
Good.
Once Dak shows next level, what are your expectations for Dak this year?
Wow. That's every time you think you hit, you know, you Dax, okay, that's can he go? And he goes another, you know, finds another rung. He's doing some stuff. Just we have, you know, these plyo stairs we have. Kind of starting to look at that as, if you had to look at one thing that guys do, you know, in our weight room, and you watch them go up plyo stairs, you know, the force that takes, you know, moving the mass they're moving at the speed they're moving it. He's the fastest on our team going up those, and it looks like he's just floating up. You know, a couple weeks ago he was like took about like 2.55 seconds to go up. Now he's down to 2.29 going up those plyo stairs, and other guys are chasing him, and it's you know, it's pretty cool. So I don't know to answer your question, but you know, there's a lot in there, you know, in terms of athletic ability and speed and power and force.
In the spirit of competition and champions, we're in the hometown of Jerry Chestnut, the World Cup champion, 76 this year, and kind of broke his own record. Not sure if you saw it or not.
I watch it every year. I'm a big fan. I don't miss that. Addie doesn't miss that. Sarah likes it too. I mean, Jack, my son Jack loves it.
Were you impressed with his performance this year?
There's no question about it. I mean, I've looked at some of his training, and yeah, it's just pretty awesome. The guy's best at what he does. I mean, you have complete respect for that.
Well, with two full questions.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know, if you were a hot dog eating champion of the world, ate the most hot dogs in 10 minutes, I mean, would you consider it a sport?
Yes.
I would probably feel pretty good about myself if I could do that.
Is there any food, this is my real question, is there any food that you could put down at Joey Chestnut like that? Is there a food that you could not, maybe not 76 of, but something at that?
My mom always said I had a hollow leg. Probably corn on the cob. I really like corn on the cob.
Like 10 years, 20 years?
I don't know. I never really tried it like that way. I'm always disappointed there's not another one to eat. You know, I mean, usually you got the pot there, and there's always there's another one in there. There's one more. I'll eat that one too. I'm usually disappointed there's not a couple more.
Out of curiosity, what do you put on your corn, butter and salt?
Butter and salt. Is there more to put on it?
I think the combination blend is, but that's, plus.
I'm not a big pepper guy, so butter and probably more salt than I should put on, actually. Cool. This has been great, huh?
We got a couple more.
Oh.
Right here, Isaiah. You're almost done. Got you almost done. Go to the Big Ten Network.
Talked a bit about Dalen and Andrew, when you overall look at the receiving room.
Yeah.
What's your evaluation?
Really, Mikey, CJ. So Mike Samerstill, Cornelius Johnson, Ronnie Bell. Those would be our top three going into camp. Roman Wilson is going to emerge as well. And AJ Henning is good and is going to be good. That group, Dalen's going to be definitely in the mix. And then Drill. Am I leaving somebody out? Oh, Christian. He was there as a mid-year in the spring. Did some really good things. That's really Mikey, Ronnie. Ronnie's such a gamer. I mean, he just goes all the time. He goes in the training environment. He goes in the practice environment. But just over the last year, he has really been a real focus on the detail, the fundamentals of the position. Josh has done a great job with him. But you see those things getting refined. The technique. I think it's gonna even show more. CJ's got who's the best receiver. They're both really good. CJ, I've seen a real over the summer cycle, spring and summer, there every day, and then trying to crush every workout as well, even on the days where maybe he doesn't feel like it, but he gets into it and crushes it. That bodes well. Mikey's a leader. Mikey does great. I really think, as I said, Roman is going to really do some really good things along with AJ. And you'll see Dalen and Andrell and Christian, and those are our top guys. Now with another group, another group of guys that are going to really contribute on special teams as well. So excited about that receiver room.
Our last questions from Bruce.
As you guys have adjusted to a scheme on defense, which of the quarterbacks have really stood out in the spring and
Jamon Green, DJ Turner, and Vince Gray stood out the most at the corner position. George Johnson is also, he's good. I don't know whether he's a corner or a safety yet. I mean, I hate to change the position again, but that's a possibility to get him to show up on the field.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.